Hmm. Hello, this is video 703, which is going to try to ask a question that I have in the back of my mind. I want a poem. I'm going to write a poem, and it's going to be called Did They Cry When to Them I Died? And I don't have it written out yet, but it's going to be, I want it to sort of be about a poem. I see a picture. I see a family and the kids talking. And in my case, there'll be two young men, two boys, and they'll be talking to their mother and their grandmother, and they'll be, well, who's in your family? And at some point it'll slip that she had a brother. And the two boys will be like, wait a minute, where's our uncle? Where's Uncle Robin? Where's Uncle Robert? Great uncle. Where's your brother? And the grandmother will have to come up with some story. But that sets the stage. And then it pans back to a graveyard, and the family is standing around, and the grave is my grave, and she'll be like, here is your Uncle Robert, and they'll be, but the tombstone says Robin Karen Parks. That's a girl's name. And she'll have to explain that she had a brother who transitioned into a woman. And pan back further, and there's me as a ghost. And I'll be watching them. It's definitely a pity party table of one thing, but I just want the poem, like I said. Did they cry on the day to them I died? As they stood there open-eyed and wondered about who I was. I don't know, I have to work on the lyrics of it, but just that idea that I didn't kill myself, but this other person killed me. You know what I mean? They killed me. They couldn't deal with my transition. They couldn't deal with the uncertainty, the unknown of it. They didn't want to deal with it. They didn't want to. They weren't there to support. You know what I mean? And I just kind of, I don't know, I just have this, Don McLean American Pie tale in my head, on that day, that my sister decided to cut me out of her life. She killed me. She killed me. And for my niece, who knew me as well, in her timeline, it goes to a certain point, and then it's cut off, It's like Play-Doh coming out of the device. You put the Play-Doh in and you press the lever down and it comes out like spaghetti. Someone took the little plastic knife and cut it off. Cut the thread. And any possibility, and of course you could say, well, always in the future they could come back and do something. But that magical thread was cut. And then her children, it was cut. It's like a family tree in a limb that had been pruned. I think about historical revisionism and going back and changing the past, the narrative, to fit the future, to fit the, and how, again, my niece's children won't grow up to know me and me them. You know what I mean? I just, in this world of people you know what I mean? Like, people who care about other people. Usually it's your family or your loved one or your spouse. But someone who genuinely cares about you and hopes you're doing well. I'm not talking a Facebook like or a care or a heart. I'm talking someone who's going to show up, come see you at the hospital, come talk to you, or listen to you when you're hurting. Those people are very few. Very few. In Hamlet, Polonius says to his son, "Gather your friends with hoops of steel. Keep them close and protect them because they're so rare." And in this instance, to have someone just, "I don't want you because you're an embarrassment to me," which is what was told to me. I was an embarrassment. That hurts. It hurts. It hurts. But we didn't have a strong family to begin with, so it's really not that big of a deal. I mean, it hurts me, obviously, but I remember I was in the Air Force, ROTC, and it was my first holiday, I was in Atlanta in school, and it was Thanksgiving, and we had the option to, you would go with your superior, they would host you as a cadet. They do it at the academy too, the Air Force Academy. You're a cadet and you go spend a holiday with a captain or, major, lieutenant, anyway, it doesn't matter, colonel. And you see how their family is, and it, oh, that's how I want to live. And I can remember the family, the brother and the sister, the children, the siblings cared for each other. They cared for each other. And it's not something that I had growing up, The families, and obviously every family is going to be a little different, but, that love and that unconditional love, that visceral You know, it's not something that's in my family, unfortunately. You know, and so I guess looking back, I can see how my sister very easily could, flick the switch. You're no longer part of my life. So I have to kind of say, why in the hell am I fighting for this so strongly? Maybe it's to a degree, maybe it's because it's something that I want. It's something I want from my daughter, but she doesn't have because there's no other children. That's not my fault, but I feel like it is. But how is some circumstance? When I transitioned, everybody said, fuck you. It hurts me. But what about my daughter? Her cousins? It was like I transitioned and everybody just... Excuse me. It just affects... It's not just me. Oh, man. That's what I'm looking for. It's what I'm looking for. I want to have that togetherness again. I didn't have it to begin with, but that's what I want. And that's what I want for her. To have that togetherness and family. But this whole idea of the poem was to kind of turn it on its head and was to ask if the other people cried. Leading up to my transition, they tried to discourage me and dissuade me. Oh, that's not what you want to do. You know how that goes. You try and tell people it's what you want to do, it's what you want to do, and you finally have the guts to say something and they just dismiss you. My dad came. I was such a failure to them when I dropped out of the Air Force. I was such a failure. They didn't understand. And I can remember meeting them at the airport. I shaved my legs. I tried to dress as non-gender specific as I could. And I think I even told them, I'm transgender. I want to transition. Did not register in one ear and out the other. Digging up some old stuff tonight. But like I said, did they cry? today that to them I died, you know? Did they cry for their brother who died? The person that they thought was their brother? Do you think they lamented them? I remember my one of my therapists, I forget where and when, she said something like, did you have a funeral for your old self? And I was kind of like, a funeral? She says, yeah, did you acknowledge the fact that part of you had died? And I just looked at her and I said, I don't look at it that way. I am who I am. I'm the same person I was when I was 12 or 18. I'm just more physically aligned with that person, Before, when I was ridiculed or made to feel insecure by people, that person was in pain. And now I get to be myself, and for the most part, I'm pretty happy. But yeah, today when I kind of talked to my mom and everything was cool, she's been hanging out with them all week. I felt like saying, how can you be so cool with the fact that I've been cut out of their lives for not doing anything wrong? I mean, I didn't rob a bank. I didn't kill anybody. I didn't hurt anyone that I know of. I just didn't live up to their expectations of what they wanted me to be. And how can she be cool with that? Now I wouldn't expect her to treat them negatively. But maybe I wanted her to stick up for me. To stick up for me. And to say Robin is a person. And Robin has feelings. And Robin didn't do anything wrong. Maybe that's what I want to hear her say. I want her to stand up for me. And to stand up for my child, who did nothing wrong. To me, her silence is deafening. They say when good people do nothing, evil wins. And I guess that's just the way that I feel. Just by hanging out and doing stuff and not doing anything. It hurts. It hurts. And maybe that's the best that can be expected. I don't know. But my life has gone on. And while I haven't found a cure for cancer or, solved, I don't know what I could solve here, I'm still a pretty cool person, I can remember sending them birthday cards. I send her birthday cards every year. Nothing. And I don't say that like, I expected something. But fuck. I remember growing up. I didn't get birthday cards. I didn't get birthday cards. I spent my birthdays alone. I spent my holidays alone because I was a failure in my parents' eyes. I dropped out of the Air Force. I ruined their plans for me. And they did the same damn thing. They cut me off. Did they cry? On the day to which to them I died. Life is so precious. But you know, it's crazy. So what can be done? You meet people that you build friendships with and families, your adopted families, your non-blood families. You know, I know I have people in my life that I can count on. You know, I know I do. One day I'm gonna meet somebody. A man, I think. I hope. I'm gonna have that relationship with them. Strong. And his family, I hope. Like I said, I know you meet friends and your adopted families and everything. It just kills me. It just kills me. Back to that family in Atlanta. Or excuse me, back to the family at the academy. The Air Force family. Just the amount of love, the authentic love that they had that I didn't have. The love that I have for my child. You know? The future. I don't know. I'm a couple years away from passing the torch. She's gonna leave the nest and do great things, I hope. And I'll continue to do my own great things too. But if I've done a good job of being a parent, I've given her the tools that she needs. But I'm still hurting. Man. Anyway. Time to move on. Time to move on. I got a house to clean. Anyway, till next time, we'll sign off. I wish you the best of luck in finding your authentic self. And I guess this is a plug for therapy. We still need therapy, man. Whoa, man. People. We're so focused in the support groups on the first year, first 2 years. How do I change my name? How do I get bigger boobs? Which is important. I don't want to slight that. But we need mental health care the rest of our lives. Either that or I'm really fucked in the head, which I might be true. Might be true. But thanks for letting me vent. This too shall pass. This too shall pass. And the question remains, did they cry unto the day to them I died? You know? I can remember a conversation I had with my ex-wife. It was the first few months when I had decided I was transitioning. And we were trying to figure out what we were going to do. I had moved into the guest room of the house. Was sleeping on the floor in the little guest room. It was really an office. And she cried a lot because she was really in love. She was really in love with me. But it was a tormented soul that she was in love with. It was a fake person she was in love with. And the more and more I broke down those walls, and definitely the more and more I changed physically, she really missed that old guy. She missed me. She missed the old me. And I couldn't live that way. I couldn't live, you know what I mean? But she cried. She cried when I died to her. But anyway, life goes on. Till next time. Bye-bye. Good luck. Here we go.